Do you know that?
Okay, let me see. So if I play the music, you can hear the music. You can hear the music. Okay, so I have to find a way for us to play the music. How you doing, Facebook land? If you seen us, please share the video. Please share the video. Okay. Yeah. 1 second, girl. I have to do public with this thing. So yeah, if you seen us, please share the video. Hello, everyone. My name is Grace Goa, and you are watching the Women's Stance. I'm supposed to have Vera with me here, but apparently she's not here, so I'm going to just remove her from here until she can come back. Um, I would like to say welcome if you are watching me and you can see me clear, which I think you can see me. Share the video for me in the different platforms. So, Women's Stands are, three women that will come here on Tuesdays and Thursdays and Saturdays at 6:30 p.m. to discuss women, you know, our participation in democracy in the world, in Liberia and everywhere else. So bear with me as I share the video and and we'll go from there. Okay. I'm gonna play some music. The thing is not allowing me. I gotta figure that out. Um, Let me share in some groups, and then I'm gonna play some music. The thing is not allowing me. I gotta figure that out. Let me share in some groups. Oh Lord. And then I'm gonna play some music. The thing is not allowing me. I gotta figure that out. I'm all over the place today with this today whole life. I say sometimes it's not easy. You if you're a technical person and it's not the person who talking, it's not easy on you. But I trying. You bear with me, yeah. I trying, yeah. You bear with me. Oh Jesus. So welcome to the Women's Stance. And my name is Grace Goa. I am the president of Liberian Women Advocacy Network International. I'm also the founder of Legacy Holding Foundation. And I thank you for watching. If you're on here, share the video for me. And I have the other panelists. Welcome and introduce yourself.
Hello, everyone. I'm Veronica George Edwards, and I'm out here in Charlotte, North Carolina, and I'm very, very happy to be here. Share the video, as Grace said. Let us talk about issues.
Yeah, thank you, Pharaoh. And we'll be coming here on Tuesday, Thursdays, and Saturdays, 6:30. We'll stay here for only 1 hour, 30 minutes, but we'll say what we have to say within that time. So this is where we are right now. So before we start to talk, the actual reason why we are here, because we are here to actually ask you guys or give you information on who is Jeremiah Kuhn. Jeremiah Kuhn is the VP pick that Joseph Waka picked recently for his candidacy and for his bid in presidential election for this coming October. So most people we see around social media are seeing that, but they don't even know who is Jeremiah Kuhn. So they want to know who the man is. So we went and did our research because I also want to know. We never heard about him much. We all we know that he was representative, and later on he became senator. He is not really active in the Liberian, or real body politics, although he is the standard bearer for MDR. The MDR stands for Movement for Democracy and Reconstruction. So we will tell you guys who Jeremiah Kuhn is, and also we'll go into the press conference that that Alexander Cummings just had recently after uh, Joseph Waga announced his pick. We'll also talk about Prince Johnson and why I say that he is so influential in making decisions in our elections and in our politics. After he fought a war and he was one of the main actors in this war, why this man is getting a pass, we'll talk about that. And then we'll also come and tell you what it is that the vice presidential candidate is actually in that place at that position for. We'll give you that information as well. So before we go there, something happened recently. Something happened recently in our in Liberia concerning women. So we wanted to share that with you as well. So something happened recently, and we want to know, we want to share with you, and you guys have to continue to comment here and let us know how you feel about it. But before we go there, if you will introduce yourself, and then we'll continue quickly.
Greetings to the listeners and the viewers. My name is Vera Addy, Liberian Women Advocacy Network International, and I'm glad to be on. Thank you for watching. Please help share the show and comment whenever you can. Let's interact. Thank you.
Thank you. So, the other day we were on a meeting, and the thing is that it was me, Veronica, and Vera, and some other people were on a meeting. And how you doing, Teresa? And when we were on a meeting, Veronica received a call from Liberia. There was this group of, there was this school, there's this school in Liberia, and they took the students for a field trip, and they went to Banga. Where they went, Veronica? Where did they go? Bombing. They went to bombing on a field trip. And when they got to bombing, two teenager girls, I'm sure they consider themselves friends. And they got out of the bus, and the driver told them, they can stretch their legs a little bit and walk around. And they got out of the bus. So the girl, she told her friend that I think she said she knew that they have maybe the lake or something, or other river or something, some water. And she told the girl, oh, let walk to that place and go look at the water. And they walked there. Then she started to encourage the girl for them to get in the water and swim. So the girl said, I can't swim. The girl said, I can't swim. And once I can't swim, I can't get in the water. So she got in the water. The girl who was telling her friend to get in the water to swim. She got in the water and she started swimming. After she got through swimming, she came out of the water when the girl was not really paying attention. She pushed the girl in the water. Pushed the girl in the water. The girl started to drown. And she looked at the girl drowning and she just walked away, went back to the bus. The people asked her, but where the girl? Where you and the girl left from here, your friend, where is she? She said, oh, I don't know. And she got in the bus. The driver was tired. The driver said, we're getting late, so we got to go back to Mauritius. That's how the driver then left that girl there. they get what, well, totally, I think she had drowned. Veronica, you can kind of explain the story, how she was formed, and what's going on with the case before we get into our election election time. Before we get to explain the story to you, Veronica, come and explain the story, man. How she was formed, man.
Well, the sister went to a bumming where got up that morning and went to bumming because she was missing, and she went back to bumming where they had the field trip and found her like hours away, all the way in the forest area with this guy who helped her to get out of the water, and he was kind of giving her the where there is no doctor treatment until the sister found her. And I was like so perplexed to see a young teenager doing such to another person. I mean, and she just turned her back and walked away like this girl was nothing. So I don't know.
So right now, the case is with the police. The people are trying to find out why she even left the girl in the water and got in the bus and told the people say she didn't know where the girl, and the girl had totally drowned. One man just went there. The man want to go check a crawfish basket and he saw the girl on top of the water drowning. That how he saved her. She lost her hearing, but I think they said now she getting her hearing back. And we just like, what is such wickedness that's happening in Liberia at this time? We wanted to bring this up to advise people. You have to pay attention to your children because all kinds of things happening. For another teenager to hurt her friend like that, and I get my problem never be the same. With I think she went, you got a man had to give her CPR and keep her in your house for one whole day before the people found the girl. And until now, it's not even on the news. Nobody talking about it. So that's why we just brought it up. I don't know how you feel about this. You want to come in a little bit concerning that?
Well, we just talk about people being mindful and keeping a watchful eye over their children. And it was a good thing that her sister, having seen her come back home, decided to go back up bumming to go and look for her. And if you can, we advise our children to be mindful of the kind of friends they hang around, because these days, especially in Liberia, people are so evil, people are so wicked. You never know, even the young people are wicked. You never know what they are capable of doing. To go on a field trip and to push your friend in the water after being told that she cannot swim and her parents advise her not to go near the water, and you push her into the water and walk away. And then the school said, I don't know how come the school is not held accountable, because if you, the driver, take a couple of students on a field trip and one of the students is left behind, I'm thinking that when you get to the school, somebody to the school would have asked question or make sure all of the children that went on that field trip came back safely and that all of them were accounted for. But apparently, knowing Liberia as Liberia is, nobody takes responsibility for anything. So I think the school should be reported also to the authorities, because it's the same way we sat in the diaspora here and watched that little girl die on a field trip when they went to Buchanan, and they brought her dead body back. The little girl from Rick's Institute, and Rick's Institute were making all kinds of excuses, and to today's date, nothing came out of it. There has been no justice. Same way with Lakere, when Reverend Emmy Sampi beat that girl, and bruised her up, and that case was compromised, and today no justice. These things just go on and people just let it go. And now that the girl who threw her friend in the water, family wanted to talk it the family way, and people refused. Now they pack up their things and ran away, and now the police is looking for them to apprehend them. So these things are warning for us as parents. We need to make sure that our children are not too in tune with this too much friend business. And if our children go to school and our children go on field trip or going on field trip, we have to make sure we know who's in charge, who's going to be accountable for them while they're there, and who's going to make sure that all of the students that are on the bus for the field trip are accounted for, especially out of town from Monrovia to Bumming. And you and bus driver, you say, oh, it's getting too late, I can't wait, and you just pull off and leave somebody child's behind without looking for them. I think that is totally unacceptable. Unacceptable. I think the school has to be called in and they have to answer some of these questions.
All right, thank you. So that is enough said on that. So we are also behind the case, and we'll make sure that that little girl gets justice. So we don't care where the parents run. The police will look for them until they find them, because they have to be somewhere. And and that's some of the things that we have problem with, because there is no system in our country. If that thing had happened in the real world, because right now I don't know whether we consider Liberia as a real world. Seriously, Liberia is behind most of the countries that are behind. Dr. Karens gave money back. That's what he said. I'm just quoting what he said, and that is so true. That's why it resonated with me. That brother is behind. For a child to get, in the water, and her friend, left her there to die, and the case is being to the police station, and we are not even seeing any of it, like even on the news. We are not seeing it on the police Facebook page. So just imagine all these things happening in different areas in the country, and people don't even know about some of these things. That girl who pushed that guy in the water, maybe she killed somebody before. Because when you think about it, how can a young 16-year-old girl be brave to push her friend in the water and leave her there? And then tell her, the people ask her, but what the girl you went with? She said, oh, the girl, I don't know if she left for. And if the bus driver were running late with the people children, so he just said, well, maybe she wanted to want somebody that she knew, and he left her there, which was wrong. So a lot of things happen. That's why we are praying that Liberian people should elect a president that is prepared for the job, that can put in the real security and safety measures that we need in the country. That you can vote somebody October 10th that is prepared, for Liberia to take Liberia and lead Liberia to the right directions. That these things, when they happen, because we're not saying that these things will not happen, they will happen. But when they happen, there will be, something done. That next time when somebody else says, no, you can't do that, because you will get persecuted for that. And that's all we are saying. But our topic, today, one of the topics is we're going to talk about, why did the supporters of JMB did not show up to the UPVP announcement program? Why did the supporters, the real supporters of JMB, that still are on their Facebook here and cuss people out? They had it back. Some of them went in loon. Some of them had programs to raise money. They were even passing around in one of the programs. Anybody else that were making collection, they went in all of that for him. But then when it came after he went to the program, I think they knew that he was going to pick Jeremiah KOUNG as his VP. They did not show up to that program. Any of you guys can come in and just tell us why you think that they did not show up.
Well, I,
Ish.
if I were in that situation, I wouldn't show up either. Why would I show up? If I was helping somebody with the understanding that or they gave me some hope that there was some potential there for me to be selected, and I did everything within my power to make sure that I'm favorable to that person, and in the end they pick a total stranger over me, what's the reason of me showing up at that point in time? There's
But
no.
but then I will ask you again. But were you there? Were you part of the struggle because you thought they were going to pick you, or were you part of the struggle because you believe in the person that they will do the right thing, even if they don't pick you, you're still on the team together? Because that's what most people saying now, that they were only there because of their own greed, and which are most of the politicians are. They are part. They are. Or part of any party because of their greed. They're not fighting like you and me. We just want to see a good Liberia, or a free Liberia. We want to gear towards a new Liberia, but they are just there because they want to be in that position. And if they're not picked, then they change gear. So I don't know. That's the other side of the coin. You want to say anything before Pharaoh come in?
But that's why sincerity and honesty matter. If you go into something with dishonesty, you will come out with dishonesty. If you go into it with honesty, you will reap honesty. And so they went into it with dishonesty, and they came out of it with dishonesty at that point in time. No love lost. Everybody go their separate way. I don't have to come back to whatever you're having, because I didn't come in purely with a pure intention anyway. So at that point in time, what am I coming back in there for?
So, Veronica, I want to ask you. Fred just said that they never came in with honesty. But my thing is that the other way, or the other side of the coin, don't you think that the candidate too were promising these people because he was thinking what he could get from other them? So the person who would bring the biggest fish, they would catch the bait. Don't you think that will happen? That these people were promised, so they have hope that you know what, maybe if I try to help them man to get money and do what I'm supposed to do, he will pick me and he will give me enough. I hope that yeah, I will pick you, and then later on, the person he picked brought the most money, so maybe he was selling the VP pick.
Well, I believe that, as you all said, that I think it was because of a political, maybe political gain or selfish gain, that they wanted some piece of the pie. Once I'm raising money for you here, I'm doing this for you, I'm running campaign in the diaspora and around the world for you to come, and I want to be this. I should be part of that, and I should be picked to be your running mate. I feel that it was. I think it was political gain, and JNB was buying into it because he needed the money. And after,
It definitely shows if you say he was buying the because he needed the money, then that's just how I feel. Then it shows that these people don't fight for Liberia. They fight for
no,
themselves.
they don't.
Yeah,
They
so
don't.
it was because if you really sincere on getting like brought to the next level, it doesn't matter at this point in time whether it's money or not, because the popularity the Sir Joseph Waka has alone, he doesn't need any much money to carry on the campaign, because the man doesn't even show up on the campaign trail. He doesn't go and engage people at all. We don't see him with engaging the Liberian people, going from place to place. I don't even think he has the strength to do that. So if you in there for political gain, whereas you can just get money from one of the people that support you and make them vice president, that is so sad for Liberia at this time. If Liberians are seeing that and they're not catching that this is not right, that they just want to pick this man because now he's been there before, that the person they have, so they can't change gear because they're already gearing towards the man, and they're in denial, and they're going to push them to put him into power, then Liberia has a serious problem. Then we have a serious
Yes, we
problem.
do.
Yeah.
I really do
So
have a serious problem.
yeah, and it's so sad, watching, when you think about how far we come from, the kind of things that we've been through as Liberians, especially in our generation, our age group, where
We
everything was taken away
yeah,
from us, and the
we
other generation
experienced
after us who never had nothing. The ones that were born in Liberia have not really experienced real life, like a homely kind of life, except their parents got live money. I mean, it's just sad that people will still be playing this country as a card game, like they playing chess. Let push it so that a pure politics will push it so yeah, king got to lay on his side. And it's so sad for us to see that happening. And I just want to ask her, I don't know how she feel about what we just said with this whole presidential pick, and you can see the greed and the money collecting, and the greed for power, all they've been playing in front of our eyes, and still our people are now opening their hearts to embrace the other people that are in the race. Can you come in, Fira?
But most of the common people in Liberia, meaning the citizens, they themselves are dishonest. They play the same games, and so that's why they are drawn to people who are dishonest. That's why they embrace people who are dishonest, because they themselves, they have no honesty in them. Look at how our interactions with them. When you interact with them, on a small scale, and they can't even perform, and they can't even be truthful, and they grow into that habit, because like the saying goes, charity begins at home. So on both sides, people who are political leaders, whether they are old leaders or whether they are young leaders or they're aspiring leaders, most of them are just there for self-gain. And that's the problem we have in Liberia. How do we move forward with all these behaviors? And that is why we come on here and we point out so that people can pay attention. People can start scrutinizing these people now, because we are seeing the behavioral patterns. We are seeing the dishonest nature. We are seeing a lack of integrity. We are seeing a selfishness. Everything is being played before our eyes, the wickedness. And Liberians, of a sector of the country, still embraces this kind of attitude. And so Liberia has a long way to go. They will never select, they will never be geared towards someone who is truthful, because there is no truth in them. How can a person that has no truth in them gear towards somebody who is truthful?
And that's the problem we are having. But we are praying and we are hoping this time because Liberia is at a crossroads. This election, it means a lot. 6 years from now, it's 6 years added to our ages. You know some people will, how old some people will be to just continue to see Liberia in abject poverty. In abject poverty is so sad. And seeing that even after when Joseph Boakai did his pick, Cooper Crow, who is was the telecommunication minister, went to the program because you gotta distinguish now. Cooper Crow is part of the MDR, the movement for democracy reconstruction. He was a member of that party before we are putting into that position because Prince Johnson has supported Ria in 2017. That's how Cooper Crow got that job. So now his standard bearer, who is Jeremiah Kung, was being selected by Joseph Boakai, who is the standard bearer of the United Party, to be his VP. So definitely Cooper Crow are going to be in that crowd. He was going to attend that program. So as soon as he attended the program, boom, he got fired. And another person will replace another man from Nima County replace him, a man who does not agree with MDR, who is not part of Prince Johnson and camp. So this is just like a car shuffle these people are playing on us. It's just like Liberians, y'all need to open your eyes and change your direction. Change your direction. They have other candidates in the race. We have Dr. Clarence Manemba in the race. We have other candidates in the race. You have to go and do your research and start to think to change. Because if you sitting there waiting for somebody and they playing you, the first time they do it, you're a fool. The second time, then it means the first time they do it, then it means that I know they said they are fool. First food are fool, but second food, why like better. And the people playing around our eyes, and we just sit down and watch that, and don't take, we don't take heed to say, what, we're not gonna stand for this. So,
And I,
but
and I
go ahead. Mhm.
and I also think President Weir is playing the card games with these people
Yeah.
because he took someone from Nema County out and put someone from Nema County in. And he's trying, I believe he's trying to make these people butt heads. And if you really look at the trend of everything that is going on, you see everybody is going hector because the whole party, look at all the parties, they are just like dividing, you
Well,
know.
you gotta that's what they're saying. Oh, we are he not smart, but we has learned to play the games in the
The
people
game, yeah.
so-called politics, and he's playing it by putting another Nibayan in that position. But that Nibayan that he put in the position, he doesn't link with Prince Johnson and Sa. So he playing the cards, but that we just want. That's what we're talking about. This guy, we want like people to see what these people are doing. These people want to destroy our country, and we are no longer about to sit down and watch them. And that's the reason why we are here. And that's why this show is called the Women's Stance, because we have to get our stance on this. So if you know you are a woman and you want to be a part of us one time in a week, you can come on as a guest and we'll bring you here so you can tell us how you feel about what's going on in this whole election season. Because we're gonna be talking until the election season is over, and maybe after we'll continue this show. So
I wanted to just before you move on, I just wanted to add also talking about, you know, terminating one Nibayan and putting another Nibayan in. That's what happens when you take one whole county out of 15 or 16 counties in the land. You take one county to hail them as the county that rule over everybody, the county that has the rich vote, the county that drives the presidency in Liberia. That's what happens. They have made every other county so irrelevant to the point that people are
So
calling
true, yeah.
the Republic of Nimba. Instead of the Republic of Liberia, people are saying the Republic of
and then
Nimba.
they need to separate themselves and go get their
That
own country.
is totally wrong. So Prince Johnson is hailed as the godfather of Nimba. He's trying to push his agenda and push his people, and we are not trying to play the same games with him too. I will move one and put another one from the same country, and I bring another one from another country from the same country. So, like you said, they were made, or Veronica said, they were made into butt heads. So let the king be king. Let them play it between each other.
Librarians, you need to open your eyes.
But you see,
Guys
in
need to
play,
you guys need to open. But we have to move on to the next topic because else we'll just stay on the topic because It's just mind blowing to everybody, to tell you the truth. Everybody's still talking about it. People, friends will call you, say, but what are people doing? But what they're doing, what they're doing, we've seen it. That's why we are changing our direction. We are not going to settle for that anymore. These people cannot continue to play us and die in power. They're getting old and they're just staying there until they get old and frail and die and take our own future with them after they already lived their future. We are not going to allow that. So, but we are moving to, who is Jeremiah Kuhn? You know, these presidential candidates, they're picking their VPs, and we have to really scrutinize all these people that are coming up with the different VPs they're coming up with. Right now, JMB, the first person to come up with a VP, is Jeremiah Kuhn. So we have to tell our public and our Liberian people, who is Jeremiah Kuhn? So Jeremiah Kuhn, when we went to go do our research on him, he was born March 17, 1978. Does he look like he would be like 44 years old, right?
45.
45 years old. Yeah, like brother Harpless. So anyway, he was born March 17, 1978. His political leader, he is the political leader for the movement of democracy and reconstruction. Previously, he was the representative for District 1 in Nima County, that from 2012 to 2020. Okay. From 2012 to 2020, the man was the representative for District 1. Why one person will stay in leadership power like that long? You see, and that's the reason why we need a new leader to change all these time frames for the political people. That's why when they sit there, they want to rot there. How one person can stay in position from 2012 to 2020 as a representative for District 1 in Nima County. Then he said he was a former CEO for one pharmacy called the Prophet Pharmacy, and he has a different enterprises, like I know. So he's a businessman. He's a businessman, and then on the he's now the senator. He's the present senator for Nima County. So his Senate committees that he's chairman for and co-chairman for. He's chairman for the telecommunications in the Senate committee. They say he also a co-chair for national security, defense, intelligence, and veteran affairs. So he also co-chair for public works and infrastructure development. He also the co-chair for public account committee, and he's a member of the committee of health. This one man, he hosts all these, he's part of all these committees in the Senate. How can he even function to even do something good for any of these committees when these are so many committees? And most of the time, when you are in an organization, at least you can be a part of two committees, because you have to focus being, a chairman for that committee or a co-chair. But his one, he got 5 different committees that he's part of, and either he's a chair of these committees or he's a co-chair of these committees. And we have not seen him do anything, but I know everyone know that he's also, I think recently he became the chair for Ways and Means, right?
I don't know how long he been the chair for Ways and Means, but I heard that he was also the chair for Ways and Means.
I don't think it's been long. So I want you to come in and say, do you think that it is right for this man to be chair and co-chair for 5 committees in the Senate, while they have all these other people in the Senate that could be in these committees doing things that would better the country? Because as far as public works and infrastructure development, he's the co-chair. We have not seen any development in Liberia much, except for the development that was laid out from the previous government. That's why that's most of them, they're trying to complete. They not even complete them, and they don't have any real development that they brought to the table that they have completed in the 5 years that they've been in that Senate, in the 5 years, 6 years that we have been president. You want to say something, Vera, or Vera, you can come in.
I think just like you will have one person on as a board member on several different boards in different entities. I think it's the same with being the chair and the co-chair. Kind of like where Samuel Twe is on the board, LEC is on the board, Liches is on the board of the Eco Bank, when the bank that was Eco Bank, right? The one that had the problem with the guy who didn't have the proper credential. I mean, Samuel Twe is on every board that he can be on. And I think when they do these things, when they are all over the place, is for them to be able. It's a way of corruption, because they won't be on there to be able to monitor the funds that are coming into those committees, and they have to get their own cut. They are not there to push any kind of positive agenda that will move that committee forward for whatever they're responsible for. They're just there to collect what they can get to get their share. And that is why you see most of them are just spread all over the place on different committees. It's not about the country. It's not about development. It's not about moving Liberia forward. It's about moving their own pockets forward. It's about making sure that their pockets are deeper and deeper and deeper, making sure more money is coming into their personal coffers as opposed to money going in the budget for the country to be developed.
Well, don't you think that, Veronica? Don't you think that there should be limits on? There should be. Okay, let's say the Senate need to pass a law because they are sat there so many years and they never even pass group five laws here into anything. They need to pass a law that will go into record stating that you can only be allowed to be in three, at least three committees. You know, they will do two, but at least three, so you can be able to function in these committees within the Senate or the legislature, so to be able to do things, that will benefit the country, instead of you being in five or six of them and you're not doing anything much. What do you think about that?
Well, I think for me, I think that the representative, the Senate, they are elected officials of the government, as we quote unquote think they are elected, but and they can still be voted into office as many times as they can be, especially if their county is voting them into office. That's an elected official. But on the point of them having multiple positions within different committees within the Senate seat, I'm not too sure about how many committees one person can be on, but I know that if the Senate do have votes, they'll vote you in or they'll vote you out. So I believe that he was voted in, so that's why he has these different positions that he has.
So,
But
but
my thing is,
you saying that they can be elected over three different times in a position because they're elect. That is totally wrong. I think people should be elected twice, and after that, you shouldn't be having the time to run like that. The presidency. I don't think one person should be elected more than two times in any position when
I,
it comes to the Senate
well,
representative.
I don't like to compare, but look at the American Senate and the American representative. You know how many times most of these senators have been in power in that position for years. They always reelect them. So and if you look at the Liberian Constitution, this is how it's been. We just kind of like amended certain things within the Constitution, but I believe that the American Constitution runs maybe with few things that the Liberian Constitution has. Because if you were so, they can be elected as so many times as we might not like it, but that's what the Constitution says. So
And but that's
we
that's
just
still called corruption because this is what I brought us because here they will hold them accountable. They will hold them, the constituent will hold them accountable if they're not doing their job. The people will have the people will know not to vote them in if they're not doing their jobs. But in Liberia, most of the time, they will just, instead of them doing their jobs, they will let the people come to them, they will give them rights and maybe pay their children's school fee. So next time they can vote them in. So that the game they play with the people. And that is so sad. I don't think that Liberia should model that after America because America is a different country and the things they do here, they got ways of making you account for everything. And for in Liberia, we don't have that system, and that's why we are hoping that some good president will mount that the executive mansion to put in those systems that will try to benefit our people at this time. But I would say the MDR is one of Liberia's many political parties, which is Prince Johnson Party, and it was established by the former warlord Senator Prince Johnson in Nima County. The party has been among the top five political institutions in Liberia since its formation from Nima, and the second vote rich county in its piece. So it said Nima is the second rich vote county in the piece. But the thing that struck me is that the war really destroyed the minds of the people, which is worse than even having people who got hurt from the war with disabled limbs and disabled leg. The minds of the people were destroyed more than ever before in Liberia, because with us coming from the war and what we experienced, especially people that was living in Monrovia at that time when the war started, and when Prince Johnson came into that area, the kind of things, although we know that was a war fought, but the things that this man did, I mean, took people wives, kept women on the base for with not with them not even agreeing to be dating him, took them and kept them as his wives. I mean, people were murdered. It's one thing when you're fighting war and you just, fire to fire, but it's another thing when you just get people and you just marking people to kill them every day. And that's why that was what was going on in Prince Johnson camp during the war. But then after all of that, this man still have that kind of power in our country. He has held positions. He was a senator, then he held position within the Senate. And the people, they say that he came to liberate the Nibians. But I don't understand how. I want somebody to just tell me what liberation did this man give to Nima County, that these people put this man on a high throne, and it almost like they worship him, and that he has to make decisions in Liberian politics. Even the last person that they say he had to pull her hand up. Then even the president now, they say he had to pull her hand up to tell her people to vote for them. So I want somebody, I want you to come in. Why do you think Liberia just geared towards this man, that he's still making decisions in our country? Why he was one of the worst warlords that did the worst things, that even the people that fought for him raped women, they destroy homes, they kill people, parents, and people, children, and the people still look up to this man to make decisions in our country. I don't know if you can come in to say what in your mind right now, thinking that why you think these people would do this.
Because Liberians don't learn. Liberians love people who are abusive to them. They love people with loud mouths. They say they don't like these people, but in actuality, they love them. And that is why they continue to vote them into power. That is why they continue to embrace them. Because for a country that had a war law that should not have no place in society, in a Liberian society, I have no understanding why people will crown him as Godfather. Godfather of wickedness or Godfather of liberation. Yes, the war came and he was one of the warlords during the war. But I mean, this man was so terrible. He killed innocent people, people that had nothing to do with the war, people that had no affiliation with the war, people that had no ties with the war. He just went on a killing spree. And for some reason, Liberians think it's okay that he went on a killing spree. They think that it is okay that he killed people. They think that it is okay that he continued to be a major player in Liberian society. And demons, we all know demons hold together. Demons don't fall apart. If the one thing the Bible talk about, demons, they are united. They come together. And I believe that's the same reason why Ambassador Yuman Boaka, Jose Yuman Boaka stood up and made a comment. He who's supposed to be a Christian man, a deacon in the church. Unfortunately, the church that I grew up in and got baptized in, Effort Baptist Church, they say he's a deacon there. I don't know. I wasn't aware of him when I was in that church. Maybe I was much younger. But for him to have come from that church, that decent church, to be a deacon in that church, to stand up and open your mouth and speak the words that you are willing to dance with the devil to win, it tells me something. It says a lot, because it's like you know the devil. You have identified the devil. You know what the devil is capable of doing. But because you want to win, this same devil who destroyed the whole nation was part of destroying the whole nation. This same devil who killed innocent families. This same devil who is willing to turn Liberia upside down again the second time in his own old age. He did it when he was much younger, and he's intending to do it again. Or for you, who's supposed to be an elder, a wise man, a deacon in the church, for you to have said that, it means that you are in the camp with the demon. You guys are there, they're all in alignment. And all I can think the reason why this man cannot go away, the reason why he has to put everybody hands up, the reason why they crown him godfather of whatever they crown him godfather, the reason why everybody think he's so critical to Liberia is because they've all signed a covenant with him. And when you sign a covenant with the devil, you got to uphold it. The devil, there's no expiration date. When you sign covenant with the devil, it's a forever covenant. And that is why Liberians continue to suffer and Liberia is going nowhere. But you know, we are that change will come. We are praying that the eyes of the people because even the churches are aligned with the demons. They don't say the anymore. And so we're just praying and hoping for the best. And with the intervention of God, maybe the scales will start to fall off our eyes and we'll see beyond that. And Liberia will come to a place of correction. I truly believe that.
Yeah, but that is you come from the spiritual point of view. But the people who don't believe in that, they don't think that this is a devil a lying. They don't have time for all those things.
But
And-
half of
and-
Liberia, you can't say that, Grace, because half of Liberia, they every day they in church.
yeah, but that's what they are. But are they ready in church? That's
That's
it.
not but
I think the church is a business now. I
that's
don't
not
think people are really. I don't want to be a person that would judge someone because the Bible says be judged that ye be not judged. But when you look at the churches now, it's like a business church, wow, or celebrity. Because you're a celebrity, I'll come to your church.
Okay, so Pharaoh,
fair. There's only middle fair. Even though you say yes, the Bible say judge, not that you be not judged, but the same Bible tell us to test every spirit. The same Bible tell us to test every spirit. So we have to test these spirits.
okay, so I just think to you that at this point in time, as you can see from Liberia, for everything that be going on, especially when it comes to elections, the people are not looking in that direction, saying that they connected because the demons hold together. They don't see it that way. We want to. I want to come back to Veronica George and
So
say,
how? But before you
yeah,
get because
we,
what way
go ahead, man.
I was saying that before you come to you say the people not saying it that way. So I will ask what way you because these same people say praying for change. So who are they praying to?
Yeah, but the thing is that they can say that they're praying for change, but if they're not seeing for you looking from the outside and you within and without, because you are Liberian, but it seems that you don't live in Liberia. If they were praying for change and they see change in their face, it says they will grab it, but it's taking time for them to even see the changes and the cars that the people playing with them. So they are not looking at it from that point of view. They're still praying for change, but they're looking at it from a different point of view where they vote with sentiments and they vote because they love the person. They vote because the person been there forever and they know that name. So they are familiar with the name. So that's how they vote. They don't look for, they're praying for the change, but they don't see it in that direction when it's time for them to pick. They see it in a whole other direction. And that's why I want to ask her, because since the end of the war in Liberia and the country returned to democracy rule, right? Prince Johnson had led fierce campaign in each presidential election, convinced the Buyers to vote in the runoff, convince them to vote, and every time he convinced them, they will go and every time he convinces them, they will go and vote for that person that he siding with. This thing be happening since 2005 through 2011, and then when he came to WIA, after he said all those things he had to say, but as soon as we were able to buy his vote, he got on WIA's side, he did it again. Why these people, these Nibayans, why do they see this man as some godfather or he liberated the country, the county? And the war was not about the county, it was about Liberia. So I just want you to just try to and say, okay, you looking into everything you see. What you think going on in their minds that this man is actually, that man was actually in the war to liberate them? Because before the fighting came between them and the great genius, the war was already in existence. So how did he liberate them? I don't know. I don't. People will say, oh yeah, he was fighting to save Nibali, but he killed some of them as well. So I want you to come in, man.
Well, I think Prince Johnson has a very huge influence on the Nibidans because I personally, honestly, I personally don't like the guy. I really don't like him. Personally, I don't, because he's done things in my presence that I can't explain. But if you look at it, look at Prince Johnson himself. He said he's a pastor. Can you imagine a pastor? And he brings people to his base. He goes into Nima. Maybe I believe that he's there, and he will come and say, you know what? We'll bring one generator to this school. We'll bring some medication to this other town. And this is how he buys his people. And when he buy these people, we I don't want to put our people from Nima in a category where it's not going to be good. But the public, but you can say, but 85% of the population is uneducated. So that's some of the problems we're having. That our mind is not ahead of ourselves. That who is going to bring change to Liberia? What Liberia? What does Liberia need right now? Our minds are not there right now. We just look, the country, people are suffering in the country. So if I can get $5, that's why corruption is not going away right now. It's going to be a hard fight. Even whatever president are coming, if he has a heart for the country, he will work towards those things. But Prince Joseph Brink, you just give me a little of nothing, I'm gonna come on your side. I believe that's the influence that Prince Johnson is bringing to those people.
And that's, to me, that is so much bad influence, because I just hope that, the Nubalians that came into the real world, that have seen the change. I hope they're reaching out to the people to open the eyes of the people by telling them, giving them the information that this is not the case. This is not the case. Right now, Liberia will need a president that will bring the actual change to the country, that really love the country. And this is not about politics anymore. It's about our people. It's about us. And it's about our future generation of children that's coming. Our own children, the grandchildren that will be part of that country. What would they think about that we never fought for them? That's what they would think. And it's so sad to see that this very Prince Johnson now is the same person that have put the hand up, or is the same person who is the godfather of this vice presidential candidate that was picked by Joseph Nima Bwaka. And the vice president position balanced the ticket of the political candidate. So the political candidate chooses the vice presidential mate, usually on a same party basis. But at this point in Liberia, the vice presidential candidate and the candidate itself, they are not from the same party. So usually in any democracy or in any elections, the political candidate chooses the running mate, usually from the same party. Is a rare thing before they would choose somebody from another party with the same goal, bringing bringing more widespread appeal to the campaign. But MDR has their own policies in place. UPGI's own policy. Joseph Boaga has not come up with a plan to tell Liberian people what he would be doing for the country. He has not come up with a vision, although he's been running for 7 years. He's been working in the government as VP for 12 years. But this man still has no goal. He has no plan. But he has picked somebody who does not align with his party, came from a whole different other party, got their own policies and their own thing going on. And most of the time, because the goal of the vice president is very limited, though. Although the vice president, the main goal of the vice president, therefore, is to sit in as president just in case of death of the president or the resignation of the president. So, are we thinking here, my people? Y'all know what I'm getting to? Are we thinking because if anything happened to Joseph Boakai, just in case Joseph Boakai first say, you know what? He don't even have to die. Say, you know what? I'm very old for this job. I'm not feeling well, so I will resign my post. Or they could threaten him to resign. Prince Johnson is capable of that because they're saying, you know, he owns Jeremiah Coon. So they could threaten him to resign. They could threaten the paper, or they could pay him off to resign. I have rumors is scaring it that they pay him to pick the vice presidential pick. And as this man, if just in case of any of those things happen, just in case they go to the presidency, which I think they will not be able to do at this point in time, but just in case they get to the presidential or seat and Joseph Boakai died, or maybe he gets sick, or maybe he resign and say, you know what, I can't take this. I'm an older man now, I need to resign. Boom, Jeremiah Coon is our president. So then, because they come from two different parties, right there, it will make the policies of the party, UP party that they go away, and that's what the people gearing towards. It will change automatically into MDR on a policy. That is very scary, my people. Are you people listening? That is very scary, bro. And so I don't know. I don't know.
But I think it's irrelevant. For me, it's irrelevant that it comes from two different parties because Joel Howard Taylor was in a different party. President Weah was in a different
Does
party.
it make it irrelevant, Mama?
I say it's irrelevant to me, and I'm trying to say
Yeah,
that
you have because you have your own opinion, but when you finish, I will come and go ahead.
I'm trying to say why it's irrelevant, and I'm saying that I think it's irrelevant because um if if you from another party and I'm from another party and we have the same vision and we have the same plans and we have the same outlook for the country, then there would be no conflict of interest in case of anything, regardless of what policy my party has or what policy your party has, because at the end of the day, both of us, we see things the same way. So it wouldn't matter which sides we came from. But if I'm from another party, if my vision, if my ideas, if my solutions to a problem are totally different from what you see as a solution or what you see as a problem, then there is a conflict. Then it means that we shouldn't even come together. Now, with the MDR and with Mr. Ambassador Boycott Party, I wouldn't think that they both, have the same philosophy. For one, Charles, the political, the political guru or the political godfather for the MDR is Prince Johnson. He subscribed. This man is an ex-warlord. This man is a sanctioned warlord. This man is he's many things in Liberia he's known for, and it is widely known. And I would think that Ambassador Boycott, whatever his party subscribed to, will not align with Prince Johnson's philosophy for the fact of the things he being involved with and what he is involved with, and the fact that we are fighting for war and economic crimes go to come to Liberia. Prince Johnson could be on the chopping block for that because he was one of the major players in the war. And so, in my opinion, I wouldn't think that Ambassador Boykott's party and Prince Johnson party has anything in common. And so, because they have nothing in common, I wouldn't think that it's supposed to be coming together. Because if we say, okay, let's say, okay, that's Prince Johnson, but people, because people say, oh, but you're talking about Prince Johnson, you're not talking about Jeremiah Coon. But guess what? Jeremiah Coon is an extension of Prince Johnson because all of the action he takes is dictated by Prince Johnson. So he does
Besides that, Prince Johnson is the founder of the party that he is the presidential candidate of.
exactly. That's
So
Prince Johnson is the guru of the MDR. So, and whatever Prince Johnson say is what Jeremiah Kung is going to execute, because Jeremiah Kung listens to him.
Okay, so what I wanted to say is that the reason why it's relevant is very relevant, that and it's important that both candidates come from the same side. Like, the Democrats, the Democratic Party here, we choose a Democratic person, of as VP. It's important because their goals has to be the same. You mentioned pre George Weah and Joel Howard Taylor. But do you see the functions of Joel Howard Taylor, how her hands limited, how she cannot do certain things? It limits the other candidate because it doesn't they don't align with the same goals.
But
When
they
it
are
comes to,
along with the same goal too, because I remember Joel Howard Taylor was the same one that stood up and said, "It's our time to eat." So that means
yeah,
she
yeah,
tried to what George
yeah,
Weah.
but you will say that because she made that comment, but she was making that comment because she was already aligning with them. But her party her party was split. I
I
don't
don't.
know why you found out that her party people got from behind her at a certain time in the race, at a certain time in her presidency or VP or position. Her party was not standing with her anymore because the things that they did not want, that what she was filing or we are then doing with CDC, the side of CDC, because she was already with him as a vice president. That's why it doesn't mesh, it doesn't come together. That's the reason why
That's
most majority of the time the people will pick people of the same party because they stand for the same thing. They have the same plan and everything for the country. So that's why usually it's not a big, it's a big deal, but it's, sometimes people say we'll go with it, but most of the time it's a problem within the whole dynamic of that particular presidency or governing time for that particular VP and his president.
but
That's what I think though.
I think you and somebody can come from the same party and be at localheads and subscribe to different things. That's why, yeah, and I understand your point of view, but I think you and someone can come from the same party and agree. And at the same time, you and somebody can come from the same party and disagree and have different outlook on life. So it just depends.
Yeah, but you can
But I think
always
it's
go ahead,
on,
Mika.
unlike the American elections where they have either the Democrat and the Republican. Liberia Constitution states that the different you can have as many parties once you are within the prerequisite of um uh, what makes you eligible to become a candidate to run as president for the Republic of Liberia. So all of them can be they're from different parties, but the country they're not they're not in one accord. So these different parties will come together. I can come, I can join UP, I can join any other party. I can be a part of any other party, and then I see I see gravy somewhere. I'm going to that party. And I think this is what the whole Liberia's fiasco has been, you know. And because Prince Johnson is saying that even he was with MDR and he decided to endorse Joseph Yeman Boka as presidential candidate, and now he's bringing on board all his people that was with him, whether they were for another party or not. Once they can come and join the party, they're part of the party. So it's like as many people can come on and be a part of a party. And it's just that it's just shame. It's just shame and disgraceful of how they run the elections in Liberia.
Everything is just so corrupt, and that's why Emmanuel Charles, he said that Prince Johnson is already on the radio saying the presidency is one heartbeat away from coming to Nima County. And
Let
yeah,
me listen to
they say
that.
he already started to announce the presidency is one heartbeat away from coming from to Nima County, one heartbeat away. You know what that means? That means JMB is not well. My thing is that I don't
Great.
know why is it that Prince Johnson. 1 minute, go ahead,
No,
bro.
just before you go on, I want you to reach out for the screen, and the label is too wide. I can barely see it on the screen when you put it across.
Oh, okay. So I
And
don't know. I don't know why is it that Prince Johnson is making this thing very tribalistic, especially since the news were around. He, the Prince Johnson, brought the gossip up. They had a meeting and the GMB agreed to pick Jeremiah Kuhn. And before the man, he never even gave Ambassador Waka the benefit. I mean, he never even gave him the respect to say, you know what, I will wait until the man announce his VP. He was already announcing it in press conference. Like he had already taken over the country, taking over the main party already and saying that, you know what, I will announce it. He started giving people clue and this and that. The person will come from Nima County. That was so disrespectful to the UP partisans. I think they should have gotten mad with what had happened and they should have already put their feet down. But like people, when they for something, I don't care how wrong they see that thing, they will never say it wrong. They will continue to back it. Like the woman who was backing her son going to steal until when they caught him, they were about to kill him, he bit her ear off. That's how like people are. They will not say, oh, what the man did was totally wrong. And Prince Johnson came very, very, very tribalistic. At least Nibalians, they are one way. We don't care about that. We are a nation. We want to be nationalistic, not tribalistic. The same thing brought the water like brother. You, Prince Johnson, kill a lot of people. They destroy families. And I don't even know how in the world that you are still even alive. And you still bringing tribalism to our country and our people. And destroy our country. And we want the people to see that this ticket is a wrong ticket. That's the reason why they should move away from this whole Joseph Boyka being president, because Prince Johnson didn't have a plan. I believe that they have a plan and they will execute it, because he's not saying that the president says one beat, half beat away for, like the Emmanuel said, one beat, half beat away from Niba. We don't care about that. We just want a president who will lead Liberia to the right direction, because we are Liberians. We don't care whether we from different continents. At the end of the day, we are national. One people under the same God, and trying to make our country better. Every time I talk about it, I get emotional, because this man is continuing to destroy our country and the people are not seeing it. The UP party people are not seeing it. They're still running behind Joseph Boyka in this whole thing. And they see very well that Joseph Boyka has picked a vice presidential candidate that could kill our country for another 6 years if he become president of Liberia, and which will fight to the end. That will make sure we let our people know that what they are doing, they are playing chess with our country, and we are not going to allow that. This man needs to go and retire. He's an older man now. He needs to retire. We need a younger person with energy to come in the race and fix our country for the old people to retire and live the rest of their old life. Before can come in.
Um, but it's not strange that Prince Johnson is making the comments that he's making, because after the death of Doe, Prince Johnson felt like he was supposed to be president of Liberia. He was supposed to rule. But the reason why he didn't take power is because of Charles Taylor. He couldn't come near. He couldn't dare. So he still feels that Liberia owes him something. He still feels that
Oh, he were for killing our people, making our mothers there drink their husband blood.
according to them, they say he liberated Nima and he liberated Liberia. That's what I'm saying. He feels that Liberians owe him the presidency because he got rid of President Doe. And the opportunity he was supposed to have to be president to rule Liberia, because he felt like by killing Doe, he has slayed Goliath and he was supposed to be rewarded for that. He felt like that opportunity was taken away from him by Charles Taylor. And so still in his mind, he is still wanting to be president of Liberia, because of all the baggages that he has behind him. And on top of it, he has been sanctioned, he has been marked as a warlord. He cannot get to the presidency directly, because America will not allow that for him to sit as the head of state of Liberia. So he's using Jeremiah Kuhn to effect his position. So by extension, Jeremiah Kuhn, when Joseph Boyka expires in case of anything, and Jeremiah Kuhn is named president or is assumed president, Jeremiah Kuhn is just going to be in a proxy role. The real president is going to be Prince Johnson. It's not going to be Jeremiah Kuhn. Jeremiah Kuhn is just going to be like a proxy. And so that is what is going on. And it is sad that tribalism is so entrenched in a Liberian society. We try to get rid of these things. and this tribalism thing, but it's like it will never go away because each time we talk about reconciliation, each time we talk about getting away from tribalism, each time we talk about getting away from segregation and and stereotypes and all those kind of things, we find ourselves right back to square one because certain people just feel like, oh, we are God Almighty because we are from this certain county, or we are this because we are county, to the point that they are calling themselves a republic. You will see people who are following good leaders or who are advocating for good leaders, and as soon as they come from that particular county, Nima County, you see them, they will switch altogether. Just because another Nima man is in a race, they will leave a potential good person and go to a bad person for Nima County. They shouldn't even be calling Nima County because Nima County people got good people in Nima County. They got people with sense in Nima County. They got people with good aspirations for Nima County. They got people with good plans for Nima County. And so the Nimbayans should not fall for the bad Nimba people. They should go after the good Nima people because there are good Nima people who got plans. I remember when I was in high school, Jackson F2, he was from Nima County and he lived on Tupelo. He was further to the upper part of the road. We were way in the butt part of the road. And every time when I'm coming from school, because you have to walk from the beginning of the road, and I used to walk very slow. And I remember every time when in Jackson to come in, I mean, we stop. You need a ride? What school you in? What class you in now? I hope you're doing well, oh. Make sure you go to school. Make sure you learn. That man was always encouraging. Very good man, very educated man. I knew his daughters and all. So Nima people are good people for other people, for the bad Nima people to be doing these things to make Nima County look bad. It is just terrible. Nimba is part of Liberia. Liberia is the republic. Nimba is not the republic.
Thank you. Veronica, you want to say something on this before we get on the next thing that we just said
Well,
quickly?
I don't have much to say, but I can always say that the statement that Emmanuel Charles that's just made is just tell us what the country is going to look like if JMB wins in the next 6 years.
Hmm.
We come back to the same thing that because Prince Johnson he thinks he has influence on maybe majority of the Bidens. He think he has the power to um, to influence Jeremiah Coon because it's like Jeremiah Coon is his little boy, you know, and I can push him around and tell him what to do. And JMB is an older guy. His health is maybe fading. We don't know where his health is, but once he's out of the picture, well, we control Liberia. It
And,
just tells us.
and the thing is so sad that even with everything being said, you guys are so much on point. Just in case that Joseph Boakai retires, or after he gets in the presidency and he resign, maybe he could just say, you know what, I can't do this any longer in the 10 years. And say, you know what, I resign, and that's why the VP, therefore the VP would take that position. But Jeremiah Kuhn, what international relations does this man even have? This man have no whatsoever international relations. He How is he going to even take our country to the next level? And like, bro, depend really on aids from different international communities. How will he able to be? How will he be able to sell Liberia for more people to try to come into the country and do, or maybe help the country, or bring in businesses and stuff like that? I don't see it in him because we never we don't know the man really. I mean, and the thing is that even his credential does not show that. I tried to find his credential. I don't know where high school he graduated from. I don't know if he went to college. I don't know if he did any of those things. It is not up there. So what can this man bring to the table for Liberia, just in case his president, if they get into power, is not functioning in the way he's supposed to function? He has to remove himself from the seat, or maybe if something happened or anything, what will he bring? So that's some of the things Liberians should be able to, that Liberians should worry about at this time. It's very, very, This election, let me put our friend Emmanuel Charles. Emmanuel said this election is make or break for Liberia. We need to fight with everything to elect a good leader. We don't have 6 more years to waste. Let's call our people back home and talk to them about their future. And that's what we are doing. We need to call them every day. I make sure I have conversation with different people that we do work with, different family members, to tell them that you need to open your eyes at this point in time. We don't have another 6 years. 6 years from now, some people will be dead. 6 years from now, if that country is not good, some people will suffer from small illness that will kill them, headache, childbirth, all those things. We need to open our eyes that UPTK is not the way to go. For me, I will be pushing Clarence Pay money back for president. I want somebody who I know that when I go on their website, because all the presidential candidates, when you Google them or you go to their website, you don't even got a website for you to go to. Only Clarence Moneyback have a website. When you go to it, the website lay out all the plans he have for Liberia, how he will execute those plans, what he plan to do in the next days. I mean, everything is there. His credential is there. The interaction is there. So that's the person I want to see. When I see those things, I say yes. That kind of person I would choose for president for the Republic of Liberia. So y'all can count in who is going to bring change to Liberia at this time. In this race, are you posting everybody that's running? Who you think in your mind that you know what? That person, I think they will be able to turn Liberia around. Because Liberia need a 360. Just we are carrying a triple double decker back. That Liberia need a 360 to turn around, to come back to a better place, or new Liberia, that people will be competent in position, that they can do their jobs, that they will be able to sit in meetings and have real conversations, that people will not be on social media insulting one another. Because just the other day, I think it was day for yesterday, coming inside a whole press conference, throwing hints at Joseph Waka. Why are these people doing after they finish making flower and money? I said we've been judging flower for the last 3 years. Then we come again, the election coming closer. He then having a press conference showing his that Joseph Baga will read for Peter. They said the whole village will perish from hunger if you give the colors to an old man to make a farm, simply because he has experience. Even though his experience have never solved any problem whenever he is allowed to make the change. So they're throwing hints. There are people making flour among themselves. Are you gonna deal with leaders like that? Leaders are people who present themselves well. They don't have to insult anybody, or throw hints at anybody to make themselves shine. They shine automatically because what they bring to the table. Any of y'all can come in.
Well, you started off with Jeremiah Combe having no experience in the global community. And I do agree. In case, I mean, he has been, brought on board as number two, that's to say, rescue number two to Seriman Boyka. But in case of anything, and we don't know tomorrow, we don't even know today how the day will end. But in case of anything, and Jeremiah Cohen has to assume the seat of presidency, I mean, how does he move forward? Does he have any global connections? Does he have any global exposure, any international capabilities, anywhere that he can turn to? I mean, is he known among global leaders? Does he even have the experience to approach global leaders concerning what Liberia needs, or even how to negotiate for it? Does he even know that? And then the thing about it, even if he did, even if the answer is yes, he's able to do that, the global community not even going to work with him either, because they know that, everybody know that, and it's widely known because it's on the news, that he was handpicked by a sanctioned warlord, Prince Johnson, who the Americans are aware of. So let's say for a moment, let me just be hypothetical and say that he had all the global experience, or he had international connections and stuff, and he would be able to negotiate on behalf of Liberia. The global community wouldn't want to deal with him just because of Prince Johnson, because the global community is now aware that he was handpicked by a warlord who is on a sanction list for pay to play. So by that reason, the global communication is going to abstain from him. They're not going to be bothered, and Liberia is just going to continue to suffer. So I wonder if the young generation, I wonder if they are thinking about these things. I wonder if the thinking is forward thinking. And thinking about, okay, let's assume that he's from Nima, he's this and that, and all the Nima people are excited, or all Liberians are excited. In case, because Joseph Boyka, like you said, he's an old man, he's a feeble old man. He's not very strong. I mean, some old people are very strong, but Joseph Boyka is not as strong as we think he is. In case of something, I mean, is the global community willing to work with Jeremiah Kuhn,
Okay.
knowing that he's handpicked by Prince Johnson? And
So
then
you going to Alexander Cummings thing?
that's something for the Liberians, especially the GMP supporters and all the young people who feel that he has wisdom and he's going to move Liberia forward. That's something for them to think about. And then moving on to the proverbs that was I think stated by Mr. Alexander Cummings, that the cutlass issue. And when I saw it, and when I read it, and my honest feeling was that I was a little bit disappointed why he made that analogy. I have my reasons why I was disappointed that he made that analogy, because I feel like he even shouldn't be talking about cutlass issue, because the era that we live in now is not a cutlass era. We passed the days of cutlass. And so he could have found something more, in a futuristic, like we are generational X and generational Z. And after us, they say they're going to be called Alpha Generation. We're not thinking about using cutlass. And that is the reason why I support Dr. Clarence Baye Monimba, because he's the face of the future. He's the face of the young people. In Dr. Monimba's campaign, we are thinking about bulldozers. We are thinking about ATVs and UTVs. We are thinking about fertilizer spreader. We are thinking about and weed, pulling the weed machine. We are thinking technology. We are thinking innovation. We are thinking new ideas that we can implement and bring into a system that will enable Liberians to work smarter and not work harder. Using a cutlass is working harder, it's not working smarter. And that is why I'm supporting Dr. Pay Money Map, because those are the ideas that we are putting forth. We want to work smarter. We want to work smarter. We don't want to work harder. We want a balanced life for ourselves and for Liberians. So at the end of the day, when you have worked smarter, you go home to your family and have family time and have time for yourself. And so that is the reason why I was disappointed with the comment, because I know even though he's not who I support, I know he got some future ideas, futuristic and youthful ideas. And I think
But where can we find it? Because we not look everywhere. We can't find his
so
idea.
I'm talking about the
Oh, okay.
cutlass analogy, and
Mm.
I think that he should have used something futuristic. He does, because when I say he got some futuristic idea, for example, he has a school that running a STEM school, the very first of a kind.
Is
In
it his school or was it opened by Coca-Cola?
it doesn't matter if he says
No,
so.
it does matter. If you're saying it's a school, then you're giving the people the wrong information, because that's the information that we found out later on, that the school was not open. It's not his personal investment. Yeah, it was open through his he brought the school to Liberia, but it was not open by him. So
So
the
on whose behalf was it open? I mean, we're not here to talk about.
it was open on his behalf doesn't make it his school. So if I open a
So,
school on your behalf doesn't make it mine. It would be
so
your.
who's running the school? I mean, currently, I mean, and we shouldn't be talking about his school and stuff, because that's not what I intended to.
Mhm.
But who's running the school now? Who's providing the supplies? Who providing the things that are needed for the school? Is he not providing anything that's needed for the school?
Is he providing anything that needed for the school? Like question, because Coca-Cola, if they open a school, they will not let one individual provide anything needed for the school. Let's just be clear. That's
Okay,
Coca-Cola you're talking about.
yes, but the idea is not to talk about
Mhm.
what who is and what his school is, and I'm just saying that
He
he he,
he
he
was the,
it was, even if it's not his personal
it
school,
was through him.
it was through his instrumentation. It was open on his behalf. So by that reason, he gets some credit. But that is not even my point. I am saying that we don't live in the era of cutlass. The generation in Liberia now, where 65+% of the population are young people, we don't need to be talking about cutlass. Because the next thing we'll move from cutlass, we'll go to chapia. We will move from Chapia, we will go to Hook. We will move
But Fira,
Hook.
I understand. I understand. I won't interject on the other. I understand what you're saying. We're not supposed to be talking about colors, but at this point in time, where the campaign is about to kick off for the elections, do you think a presidential candidate should come on social media or call the press to talk about any other presidential candidate except they are asked the question, or do you think they should be now telling the people what they can do for Liberia? What their plans are, their policies that they want to carry out, and that would better the Liberian people. What do you think on that?
I think it's fair game. I think any presidential because this is a race. This is a race, it's competition. So I think it's fair game for any presidential aspirant to come and make an analogy or to throw dig at the other presidential. And I'm sure at some point in time, in fact, not even at some point in time, we have experienced that, but we combat it. We know what to say to combat it positively. It's just like our presidential aspirant that we support came out and told you, "Where you have to leave. You haven't done anything for the Liberian people."
You can't
But
compare that.
but they didn't leave it there. Huh?
You the thing is that what I'm saying is that if a whole press conference is called, and nothing about your policies and nothing about your plans for Liberia being put forth, and you just came on just to take that dig, it's a whole nother thing than you compare to Dr. Maniba, who came on and told the people the reason why he think we should excuse himself from his election and what the reason why, because he know Liberia is not in a good place, and what can he bring to the Liberian people that we will not give. And that's why I'm telling you that what we need the people to hear. What can you do for the Liberian community? What can you do for the society that will change the country, for the better? What are your plans, your policies, your vision for the country? And then when you see all those things, that you can throw your deep, but to have a whole person just to throw dicks after dicks, I don't think it was
So
right.
say anything except
If Veronica can come in, I mean, maybe she knows. I don't know.
I think on my view is every political candidate that is running to be a president in Liberia has the policies and the visions and the plan. But is it up to par with what Liberians need? Is it what are the plans and the policies in place of what the country needs right now? That's the question. And Cummings, I think he's one of the what contribute supporter of the Cummings Foundation, which insists of something called STEM. I think it's
Stem.
called STEM, STEM, science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. So I think he contributed to that uh, foundation, that school, and I don't think he owns it, but he's one of the contributor or supporter to the school. But that's besides the point. What he has his plans, he has his vision, he has his policy. What good are these policies and plans to the Liberian people if it's not implemented in the right way for people to buy those plans or buy his vision? you know so we got to look at a leader that has passion for the country, not a leader that will go down to the interior, to the forest, the bushes, and walk there to with the people and make sure these people talk to him face to face, one on one. This is the kind of leader that Liberia is looking for. People that can go down. Like I was telling Grace the other day, I was watching a clip. The president, we are the school he visited. I think his old school, uh, and he went to the school, and all these children was outside, their flags, their handkerchief, their leaves waving, for I mean, just cheering him on. And that man went into school and came. I was like, what? He came out of the school and just waved. He did not even care to walk to those children and say, y'all be in this hot sun, y'all be in this rain, y'all ain't even eat, y'all in your uniforms, you're making things happen.
Or maybe get one
I
of them
mean,
a
let me
hug.
come and shake.
Gave one of them a hug. I remember
He didn't
when President Towa, when
even
President one time we was sitting for the mansion, he just came to us, he just had my jaw like that. I can't forget that. And I was so impressed. So I just gave one of them a hug.
you know, didn't
And
even do that. He just wait in his car, and that was it. Like the school, the students were nothing.
he
I
didn't
mean, he
care.
just made it look small. Look, I don't even
So
know
let me
where
just
the
tell
country
you,
is
for
going.
me, I just think that because Dr. Clarence Muniba has done so much in Liberia, but he did not make it about himself. That's why many people always say, "Oh, but we don't know the man." Go and try to get to know him. You try to get to know good people for once. And it hurts my heart when I hear that because I one of the good people that I never even tried to get to know. But that the Moniba, over the years, the Moniba Foundation has supported hundreds of students in pursuit of higher education, whether it was to attend one of the community college or university. So many people, so many youth, that's why the youth gearing towards the man. He had benefited from his scholarship to go to school and graduated, hundreds of them. Have you ever heard it? No, like don't spread good news. They don't spread good news. He has helped market women. I heard the other day, one of my friends went to the market in red light, and most of the market women that were there, they said that he empowered them. He empowered them to start businesses. They were talking, oh, I want the volunteers carry flyers. They say, oh, don't put a flyer here. They men are he the one we're voting for. And they said there were so many of them that he had helped to open businesses, and they are running their businesses now. And they've been running it for many years. After he left the government, he was doing his private foundation work. So all of these people got some foundation and the private thing that they do, and but we want somebody to bring actual experience, knowledge, global connection, global interaction, energy to the presidency. And that's the reason why I will always say my pick for president at this time would be Dr. Clarence Moniba for president of the Republic of Liberia, because I think with him, Liberia will change, the real change that we've been looking for so many years. That some of us left the country, we live in refugee camps, we came to America, we in other people's country now trying to live here. That change that we've been looking for, I think he's the one that will give that change. You guys can come up with your 2 minute closing, and then we will go because it's after our timing. So yeah, at least we'll leave for here by 1, 7, 8. Where were we? We'll leave for here by 8:37, 8:30, or 8:40. You guys can come up with your closing. Thank you so much. The show was a beautiful show today. I enjoy interacting with you guys.
I just want to say to Liberians that there are countries around the world who are wishing that they had the population of youth that Liberia has. Liberia is so rich, youthful population, and just plain youth, and we take that for granted. Whereas other people, yeah, we go Canada is importing, accepting immigrants all the time because most of the population are old people. So they are accepting a lot of young people in Canada to boost the economy, to boost the country. And here we are downplaying our young, rich population of youth 65 plus and over. And we say they are nothing. And when they dare to dream, we say that they're too young. They should wait and they should sit back. And I was telling Grace a story the other day. I said, I hate to hear the wait for your time. Oh, you're too young, so get a paper chance. Let a paper go finish what he was doing. It's the same behavior that some family had when there are two sisters, and a man come and he see the small sister and he like the small sister and he wants to marry the small sister. And here comes the parents with their old ideas and their old traditions and their old mentality and say, oh, no, you cannot marry the small sister because the big sister ain't married yet. You got to marry the big sister because in our culture, in our tradition, small sister can marry before big sister. And that caused a lot of people to lose the people they love, the people, the men they wanted to be with, who their heart desire, They lost that person because tradition told them and culture told them and the state of mind told them that you as the small sister cannot go ahead of the big sister. And that's what we are seeing displaying right before our eye with it to say human boycott. And when it comes to Dr. Clarence pay money back, there is no rule that say that because you are older means that you have to go first. I'm sorry. Dr. Clarence Bayer Moniva is qualified, he's experienced, he is able, he is inspirational, he has the ability to lead, he has the ability to negotiate, he has the ability to bring people together. He's a people person. And so I am throwing my support behind him. But I'm saying to the youth population, you guys need to wake up and know your value. Don't sell yourself short because anything that an older person can do or a younger person can do it when they put their minds to it and work hard towards it. Don't let them use you anymore. Just say Imam Boyka, it's time for him to aspire. And that is why under the sun to everything there is a time in the season. In this dispensation, it's time for the young people to leave. And that's why when we ask you, who do you see yourself in? Look at your physical structure, look at your future, look at your aspiration, and you will see that intact and pay your money back. And so I'm saying that come October 10, 2023, when you go to the ballot box, vote for Dr. Clarence, pay your money back. He is the to move Liberia forward.
Okay, thank you, Fiora. And to Emmanuel Charles, he said he enjoyed the show. Thank you so much, Emmanuel. When we come back here on Thursday, your last question, we're going to answer it. And I would like to tell you that you are watching the Women's Stance. We are streaming right now on YouTube. If you go on YouTube, you will see us on Split Talk, the non generation. But when you hit that, you will just see the Women's Stance. We're still trying to work on us just having that seal up there for our name. We also streaming on 3 Facebook pages. We are also streaming. We stream a little bit on Instagram, so you can watch them from anywhere, And so we happy for that. We thank you guys for watching. Veronica, you can come in.
Well, this was a interesting show, very a great show. We had very beautiful conversations, and I enjoyed the show. But we come back to our country. That's why we women, we should have a say. We should stand up now to make Liberia, our voices counts to make Liberia where a better place. I know we're a long way from that healing, that restoration for Liberia, but we will get there if we have the right person in power. These power struggle leaders that are out there just trying to gain what they can uh, is not helping our country. We need a leader that will come to this country, that will go to Liberia, that will be in Liberia, and make sure that corruption is out of the country. And I did have a very good view of Dr. Manaba because I think he was in closing argument when he said that somebody has to be prosecuted. There has been no prosecution for people that are corrupt, people that steal Liberian people money. There should be some people should go to jail because if our senators, I'm sitting in America. Just imagine me in America. I work my feet off. Well, in fact, all three of us, we work our butts off, and we're not even making half of what those people make in Liberia. I mean, where is the transparency in Liberia? We don't see it. We don't see transparency in Liberia. We just think that these people is just there for the gain of what they can get. All these rhetorics they're passing all around with is not helping the country. We need somebody in Liberia who can be out of the people's person, not all about me. Let JMB or let Cummings or let them let them do what or let them do what they want to do. No, it's not about what you want the presidential peak or the presidential candidate who's running wants to do. It's about what the country needs. The country needs a leader that will lead us out of this poverty, the corruption, the killings. I mean, it's just security is not even guaranteeing the country, you know.
Mm.
So, but I'm happy that we continue to have these conversations, and as Vera said, our youth you need to open your eyes. Let's speak the real Liberian English. Y'all open your eyes and see who is about or who is going to move Liberia forward. Thank you,
Thank
guys.
Thank you, Veronica. I just want to, I mean, it was a beautiful show tonight. Although we started all crumpy up because we still can get the music to play, but we'll fix it by Thursday. And I would like to thank you, ladies, for joining, me on this, the women's stands. And I appreciate the audience for watching. You guys, I thank you. I hope you can share this video with somebody that you think will help them to make up their mind to do the right thing by picking or choosing the right leader for our country, and by looking into the candidates, making sure they check out every candidate and not stuck on what did I bring people I presented to them for the last 7 years, because they kind of stuck on that. And I would say you guys need to stop, Liberians, just stop electing um leaders that are not prepared. You go and look for the leaders that you think will be prepared through their CV, through the website that they provide for you to find out who they are and what they want to bring to the table and how they will do it. You look for those leaders and try to pick those leaders. You stop allowing the Liberian people to come into power without giving you anything what they would do, like you gave our country to we had the last time. He never even had any plan. No, the Jackie with a proper agenda, some kind of way after they elected him president. You want to give our country to somebody who lay out everything that they will do, and then when they come there and they become president, then you're holding to the fire. But right now, we don't know none of the people what they will do except for Dr. Clarence K. Moniba. They don't have website that we can check out to go and find what they will do to see how we can compare. They don't have none of that. So you don't vote these people into power or them giving you their policies and the goals for the country, their vision and their plans. The people that present their vision and their plans, you try to go and do your research and pick one of the candidates. And I will advise you to pick Dr. Clarence P. Moniba for president for the Republic of Liberia. I will say Dr. Moniba for many years in Liberia, once a month, the Moniba Foundation select a low-income community or orphanage where they go, or hospital where they go and give food items to them, or give them food, or something that will benefit them. That's the kind of person you call a leader. But you don't hear his name in the news because this is not about him. It's about country. The love for country and the love for his people. And this man has no other place to go. So his future is in Liberia. He has no house here in America. He has no house in Ghana. He has nothing. All the thing he owns is in Liberia. And that's the reason why his future is there. Once his future is there, he will make that country a better country for himself and for the people that look like him. So if you see yourself in Dr. Moniba, you don't own no property anywhere. Everything you own in Liberia, everything your children and everybody in Liberia, you will go and vote for that Dr. Clarence Moniba because he's just like you. Means that you see yourself in him. Even if you are older, you see yourself in him because everything you own, everything you have is in Liberia. Just start voting. These people work out houses in Ghana and America, and they can kind of live here and enjoy their life. You vote for the people who have the heart for the country. So we'd like to say thank you for watching. We'll be here on Thursday at 6:30, and we'll be talking about George Weah. We will lay it out for you, and we'll let you know the reason why George Weah is not fit to be second-term president in our country. God bless you guys and have a nice evening, and we see you on Thursday. Thank you so much.